Hello, so I decided to do my presentation over censorship, um, kind of talking about filtering in the internet and how far is too far. Why filter at all? Why do schools have to filter their internet, period? There are two laws that I found specifically dealing with this, and the first one was the Children's Internet Protection Act. It more or less addresses that schools need to block children's access to the obscene or harmful content of the internet. School districts must have a filter that will block the pictures that are obscene, child pornography, harmful to minors, anything like that. And if they do have, I read more on this Children's Internet Protection Act, that if the school has this filter in place, there is a possibility that they get some kind of funding also. The other law that deals with this is the Protecting Children's 21st Century Act Amendment, and this is the amendment to the Communications Act of 1934. And the only part of that is that the school districts are required to teach safe practices of being online or social networking sites, blogs, and other communications, as well as cyberbully awareness. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to make sure that the school districts are protecting the children that are minors from anything that could be harmful to them, scar them for life, as well as trying to teach them how to be safe online and be effective online citizens. Down here, I've got my two references of where I've got them, and they both came from the Federal Communications Commission. Currently, sites that are blocked in our school is anything categorized as adult, all social networking, all forums and blogs, YouTube, Pandora/music listening websites. They refuse to let the kids listen to music online. They also have Wikipedia blocked. Those are the main things that I run into. What really gets the kids is that Wikipedia is blocked. And that's part of the teachers teaching the kids that Wikipedia is just a source. It's not a source. It's a way to get started, but not necessarily the end source that you would like when doing a research paper. I wanted to look from a filtering company's point of view. So the system that Ulysses currently uses is the Lightspeed system. And I'm going to click on this link. And this is, web filtering in today's schools. But I really liked the 10 facts about the CIPA, which is the Children's Internet Protection Act, and the web filtering. There's an E-rate funding. It's also visual depictions that are pornographic, obscene, or harmful. This one right here was huge as far as YouTube is not a violation, as well as social networking is not a violation of that law, which means those two don't have to be blocked. The kids and teachers can get to it. There are things on YouTube that could be obscene or offensive or harmful to students to watch, but again, it's teaching the kids how to be safe online to avoid those kind of videos. And of course, the schools have the authority to make local decisions about filtering policies. So the school district itself can decide what to filter, what not to filter. The Y filter, student safety, network security. Apparently, there's identification of cyberbullying. You're in compliance with the law, and etc. I just found this was really interesting about all of the different practices that go with that. But more or less, they tell you from a filtering company's perspective that more or less you need to have it to be in compliance with the law. But it also helps keep the kids safe. Let's go back. Okay. The debate. There's always a debate when it comes to school filtering. People are debating whether schools are filtering too much or not enough. When I was doing the research, the debate that stood out the most in my head was, should schools block websites? And it was from debate.org, and 17% of them said yes, 83% of them said no. From the perspective of 17%, from reading their point of view, they believe that the internet is a distraction in class, or when doing research papers, or in general. And that it also has harmful websites that are out there and available. That's more or less what I saw from their perspective. And I agree with them. The internet can be a distraction. I've seen it in the computer class multiple times. There are things that pop up that you don't really think about that can be harmful. From the view of the 83%, from their point of view, they say that there is just too much information that is blocked. It makes it difficult to do research or find valuable sources for classroom resources. Which I agree with that too. There is too much information blocked. I mean, being from a computer teacher's perspective, a lot of the times when I'm doing research to troubleshoot, I'm of course going to go to a forum or a blog where people have dealt with this problem before. Now, if I'm on a school network, I can't do that. And the kids need to be able to see that too. For example, if my students are having trouble putting back together a computer and they can't figure out what part, a forum or a blog is probably better than just randomly searching the internet for something that's not credible. A forum or a blog is actually coming from people that have tried certain things, have not tried it. And I think that those are certain things that could work. Classroom resources. Having YouTube blocked. Having YouTube blocked could be it could be a good thing and a bad thing. There's a lot of things on there that are off the wall, not helpful. But YouTube also has a lot of valuable resources for students. And I know that with the Lightspeed server, they can set it up to where teachers have access to it, but students don't. But sometimes those students need videos also. So it just depends on what they're trying to do. More or less, the underlying agreement. Both responses said that sites that are harmful and obscene should be blocked. There is no question about that. Obscene and harmful images, and even text, there are some websites that are text-based that could be harmful, should be blocked. But that schools are pretty much blocking too much, making it very hard for students to get research papers done. They're having issues doing even just sometimes basic assignments where they just need help. They can't go online to research it at school if they want to troubleshoot it themselves. And so schools are possibly blocking too much. My personal opinion is I think that sites that are categorized as adult that could be obscene or harmful should be blocked to protect the innocence of our children and our minors. However, the YouTube, forums, and blogs should not be blocked. And, occasionally, maybe not during state testing time, but occasionally, music lessoning websites would be great too, for those students that don't have the high-tech technology, the iPhones or the iPods or whatever to listen to music. They could at least log into a computer while they're working on a computer to listen to music as well. To recap, the CIPA protects school district or requires school districts to block sites that are obscene or harmful to minors. YouTube social networking are not required by the CIPA. They do not have to be blocked. They could be beneficial in the classroom. Protecting Children's 21st Act Amendment requires the schools teach how to use the safe internet, how to be safe internet users. So, at the end of this, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about current web filtering in our school district? How do you think we should change it? If there are changes that can be made, maybe there's a compromise that we can come up with that doesn't filter too much, filters enough but not too much. I know another thing that we've complained about is our internet speed. Well, part of our internet speed is because we are filtering. Is it because we're filtering too much? If we back off of that, would that help our internet speed? So what would some of our thoughts be to work with the tech department on filtering the school district's internet?